Hello and welcome back to Rimworld and the Chronicles of Rimmick, Episode 7. Last episode was a rather full one. We got very lucky handling a raid while in a mental break, started building an escape shelter, hunted several more animals, and rescued a potential new colonist. Now I will have to apologize here because some of the footage for this episode was corrupted and got turned into a bit of a slideshow. There is good news, however, as you can probably just make out on screen. Maticus Musset, the shop kid brawler, has decided to join our colony. I imagine that he insists on being called Maticus, comically posturing like some sort of Greek hero, but also that Rimmick, with a little smirk, stubbornly refuses to call him anything but Matt. Now becoming serious and turning to business, Rimmick sorts out a list of priorities with our young brawler, explaining that things are somewhat dire out here in the ice sheet, and that they will have to work together to survive. For the time being, Matt will mainly be occupied with cleaning and researching, while Rimmick handles construction and hauling. Having a look at their skills again, they have single passions in melee, construction, animals, and medical, with notable skill levels melee 4, animals 5, medical 4, social 8, and intellectual 3. So with chores divided up, Matt asks Rimmick what her faction is called and what this planet is. She replies, "We're the Chronically Cool," with a cheesy grin. Matt waits to see if it's a joke, before rolling his eyes. Then, after straining to recall the last thing she saw on her ship's console before crashing into her would-be captors, she remembers. UV-8, that's what the planet's called. Right away, our new colonist is having trouble. They're in danger of a mental break. The first of their moodlets, being cold, should be sorted momentarily as they put on a toque and some warmer clothing. The next on their list is their urgent hunger. With their hunger taken care of, Matt goes to sleep, while Rimmick gets to work on a research bench. Rimmick heads north to deconstruct some more slate ruins before realizing that she needs to eat again. Minutes later, Matt collapses on the floor, not due to hypothermia alone, but has also gotten into some smoke leaf. Rimmick finishes off the slate ruins and hauls a load over to the escape hut. She refuses to take a recreation break, instead choosing to chug the last beer before dismantling some nearby steel ruins. Cassandra decides to bless us with a bit of penoxycyllin. While hauling the penoxycyllin back to camp, Rimmick's mood has completely bottomed out. We desperately need some more recreation sources. But, for better or worse, we've decided to prioritize completing the escape hut instead. Now things go from bad to worse with an impending raid. We're dismissing the Ship to the Stars quest because Rimmick is determined to make her stand here. If they want her so bad, they can come and freeze. At the same time, a pod has crashed onto the ice sheet. They're not fit for survival here, but we will try to rescue them. We are again using the capture option to avoid letting this pawn join the colony. The Biko Kin League has sent a terrifying brawler with more melee skill than our two pawns combined. I think it's time to rely on our spike traps. While on the way to rescue the pod survivor, Rimmick goes into a tantrum and heads back to start smashing her own base. Thankfully, Rimmick decides to attack the storage room rather than heading to the shelter. Instead of finding Rimmick, our assailant finds the business end of a spike trap. Rimmick eventually comes out of her tantrum seemingly without having broken anything. Then she fails to rebuild the missing spike trap, wasting some materials. Then, thanks to our crashed Potter not having any bleeds, Rimmick is still able to rescue them. Matt goes to work on the escape hut while Rimmick hauls Rollins to safety. Somehow, with an outdoor temperature of minus 57 degrees Celsius, a snow hare has come onto the ice sheet. Rimmick is not about to let it get away. Matt continues to struggle with their mood. This time Rimmick comes to complete the escape hut. She designates a no-roof area for managing the internal temperature. Rimmick is using the last few blocks to double insulate the wall. With that, the escape hut is now ready for use. Matt sits down and officially begins our foray into research, starting with complex furniture. Rollins is able to walk up the ice sheet now, but they get one more night of healing in bed before they get moved to the escape hut and released. It seems too cold for migrations already, but now a second snow hare appears on the map. Its fate will be no different than the first. Rollins has had a quick warm-up, and now it's time to say goodbye. Rimmick continues gathering even more slates so we can double insulate the escape hut. Matt's mood struggles finally come to a head as they collapse into a catatonic state. It seems their greediness for a fancy bedroom has been their undoing. This time it's the killer unit coming for us with a melee 11 jogger. Without Matt's help, this is probably one for the spike traps too. As it turns out, no spike traps were needed. They collapsed due to hypothermia before even reaching the shelter. We'll collect what they brought and throw them on the pile. Life on the ice sheet is not without its struggles, but occasionally it works in our favor. And with that, this seems like a good place to wrap things up. I admit it was not the most action-packed episode, but it did come with at least one exciting development and some good progress. We now have a second colonist, which is a major milestone and greatly increases our chances of survival out here in the ice sheet. We've also finally constructed the escape hut and should have an easier time dealing with pod survivors. But for now, I'd like to thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, please click that like button and subscribe to the channel. And so, be kind, stay curious, and we'll see you in the next one.